us all get very comfortable. It is very helpful to just take a few deep breaths and then exhale and let things like your pelvis drop into the earth, muscles relax, face relax, thoughts drift away. Give yourself an opportunity to become still, quiet, and present. And while we sit in this quiet space, let's do a very short loving kindness meditation for ourselves and then for others. So this will be simple and yet powerful. The words, the affirmation is, may I be whole and may I be healthy. May I be whole. May I be healthy. And this is very much like take care of yourself first. So it's like the put your oxygen mask on first before you help the others on an airplane. Take care of yourself first and then offer assistance to others. So now, may we all be whole. May we all be healthy. And then bring your hands up to your heart. Offer a moment of gratitude for your well-being as it is at this moment. We are safe and we are in a good place. Our homes, we have food, shelter. And then follow that with the intention for your practice today. Bow your head. Release your hands and then open your eyes and lift the head. Let's stretch those shoulders open. Here we go. It's time for the morning practice. And release. Twist to the right. And release. Twist to your left. And bring your legs out in front of you and pump your thighs. This is a multi-level class, but I noticed that most of those that signed in today, I know. So I probably won't do too many references to beginner alternative practices. So if anyone does feel like they just signed on and I didn't catch that, just remember, it's really not about keep up with Terry or always do what Terry says. It's about come close to what you see me doing, but in a safe place. Let those inner thighs stretch. And then release, stretch your legs out again. Cross your shins and roll over into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And I'm just going to change my position and come onto my mat. Remember, at first it's nice to warm the backs of the legs up a little bit, get the muscles pumping by alternately pressing the heels to the floor and bending the opposite knee. After several repetitions, then take on the full pose. Keep your head relaxed. You don't have to hold the head up. Now, after one more breath, use an exhale and step up to the front of your mat. Uttanasana. Use your blocks if your hands don't come to the floor. And also, again, I'll just remind everyone to have the hands a little wide, even if you have to use your blocks, with the elbows bent out to the side. You can see how that makes the back broad and less bunchy around the neck. And then bend the knees and inhale, up we come. Hands to the heart. Now let's do the classical Surya Namaskar this morning. So let's clear the mat of anything we don't need. You could put blocks at the front of your mat if you want to use them for the lunges. We move in and out of them pretty quickly with just the breath, just enough time for breath. So you don't have to. And also if you need something down on the mat for the lunges when your knee is on the floor. We'll start at the front of the mat with our hands in Namaste and bow your head. Inhale, reach up and follow your thumbs with your eyes. And then exhale, when you're coming down, bend the knees. Then inhale, halfway up. Exhale, the right leg back and the knee comes down, release your toes. Inhale here in the lunge, Namaskarasana, I'm sorry, Vanarasana. And then exhale into the plank. Inhale, hold the plank, and then exhale, knees, chest, and chin come down, and then slide forward and lift with your back muscles for the serpent pose. Bow the head, inhale, come up into the Bhujangasana, the cobra, and then exhale, coming down and pushing right back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up a little bit, and exhale, step your right foot to the front of the mat. It may take a couple of extra steps to get the foot up there, but that's okay. And then release your toes. Inhale. Exhale, step up to the front of the mat. We're back in the Uttanasana. Protect your back by bending the knees, up with the palms together, a little bitty back bend, and then hands to the heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhaling, coming forward. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, left foot way back, knee down. Inhale, hold. Exhale, plank. Inhale, hold. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or the best you can, get down on the floor, and then come to Sarpasana, the serpent pose. Exhale, bow the head. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, get ready. Exhale, left foot forward. Put the foot on the dead, comes halfway up. Grab the foot, bring it forward. Inhale, exhale, back into the forward bend. And now we're ready to bend the knees and stretch up. And bring the hands to the heart. Let's do it again on both sides. The right leg leading, then the left leg leading. Lunge. Inhale. Plank. Exhale. Hold it as you inhale. And then drop knees, chest, and chin. Back strengthening part of the pose. Exhale, bow the head. Then Bhujangasana. Exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift the head. Exhale. Right foot forward into the lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knees, inhale up. And then one more time. As you're coming forward, be careful of your back. It's always okay to use extra props. It's the left foot stepping back this time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, knees, chest, chin, exhale. Inhale, wake up the back. Exhale, release the neck. Inhale, now you're ready for Bhujangasana, the cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, then exhale, right foot meets the left foot. Hands together, inhale, coming up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Release your hands and pause and feel. This morning, one of the things that I wanted us to do, besides, of course, the hamstring stretch, is the 2 rotational hip openers. So let's go ahead and do Supta Padangusthasana first. So take the belt of any sort, lie down, and take the right leg up. Squeeze those thigh muscles, keeping both legs straight. Right leg is the one getting the hamstring to release. Left leg is pressing down into the floor to keep the connection to the earth. Stabilizing the torso while the right leg is getting its stretch. There. Just a reminder, you can always make a belt loop or wrap the belt around the hands if your hands feel tired. If you are just joining us and this is your first time, make sure that your elbows are straight so you're not getting tension around the neck and shoulders. Let's hold for a couple more breaths. Give that hamstring some time to understand what your intention is. Now release, and let's do that other leg. The guidelines are the same. For an effective stretch, it is important that the knee be straight. If it's not, and you got a video, you could actually make you the big screen. You could pin yourself and you peep over there. Make sure that you're working very hard so that the hamstring behind the knee isn't contracted. And now, one more breath and release. Now, the first rotational practice is called Duryodhanasana, and that pose is going to put the right leg first in internal rotation so we can stretch the deep external rotators here. So let's start with our knees bent. I'll be, let's see, this way. I can't see that you can see my feet. Yeah, if I do this, I'm sitting up right now, but you'll actually lie down. The right foot, when you're lying down, should be in a dorsiflex position. Yes, dorsiflex position. So you pull the toes towards the shin, and then you'll step that leg out to the side and then roll the knee down. Now you want to look behind your knee and make sure that you have a 90-degree angle back here. Your thigh bone is parallel to the 2 sides of the room, and your shin bone is parallel to the front of the room. Now, once you're in position, you do the traction action, which makes the thigh bone move away from the hip joint, and you lift the pit of the abdomen to pull the pelvis away from the thigh bone. Those 2 actions create the space in the joint, so now you can roll the knee down and in opposition, roll the buttock down, or the pelvis. So there's 2 different movements happening, the thigh bone going this way and the pelvis going this way. Once you're in this position, if your knee feels any tenderness, stay here. But if you'd like, you could put the left foot on the right knee, the outer right knee, and just let the weight help. But as the knee comes down under the weight of the left leg, let the pelvis also roll back down. come out, first, make sure the left leg is clear of the right leg. So we won't try to lift the right leg up with the left leg still on top, and then lift the right leg. Slide it back onto the mat, and for a moment, just stretch it out. Then place it back on the mat, step the left foot off to the side, and keep up and make sure that you're dorsiflexing the foot. That means pull the toes towards the shin. Then down the thigh bone rolls, and you take a little peek. You need to adjust. Is the thigh bone a straight line down the middle of the root? And is the shin bone a straight line parallel to the wall that you're facing? Now it's all set up. Thigh bone away, hit of the abdomen lifter, or we could say, if you don't know what that means, it's the lower abdominal muscles are pulling upwards towards your heart, and that sort of lifts the pelvis with them. Now you've got space in the joint, and you can roll the thigh bone down. You just saw the movement. If you're watching the screen, my thigh bone rolled down, and then this hip also rolls back down, or the pelvis, we should say. The pelvis rolls down. Then you hold that, investigate the knee, and ask yourself, is it going to be okay if I put my right foot on my left outer knee? If it is, then you get a little extra stretch. Don't do that if there's any knee pain, any warning signs. We need to learn to heed the warnings from our body. Take a deep breath, inhale, and on the exhale, release. And stretch both of your legs out. Now we'll do the external rotational movement. We're just going to do one leg at a time. So the left leg is going to remain straight. You'll lift the right leg up, and this outer ankle of the right leg goes on the outside of your left thigh, and the shin of the right leg is right above the left knee. Again, because the knee is in a vulnerable position, because it's less than 90, pull the toes up towards the shin, and that'll help stabilize the knee a little bit. Now we're in the right position. If your ankle is on the outside of the left leg and your shin is above the left kneecap. So now you press that thigh bone away, but this time in the direction that the knee is pointing, which is sort of off to the side of the room, not straight ahead. Lift those lower abdominals again, so now you've got your traction. Because the pelvis is level now, we won't have to roll the pelvis down. It'll just stay stationary, but the thigh bone should roll down towards the floor. Just move the thigh bone downward, and it'll rotate. And now it's going to feel the resistance of any of the tight internal rotators. Let's stay here and focus our breath in the hip joint, both the inside and the outside. Then lift the knee up, place the foot back on the floor in line with the pelvis, and stretch the leg out. Squeeze the thigh muscles for just a moment, and then let the leg relax. We're ready now to do the left leg. So draw the left leg up. The rules still apply. The outer left ankle on the outside of the right thigh. So the ankle and the thigh bone. Then the shin is going to be above the right kneecap. Pull the toes towards the shin, and you're ready to go. Traction. The thigh bone reaches away from the pelvis in the direction that the kneecap points. And then lift those lower abdominal muscles. There should be a little bit more space in the joint now. Then turn the thigh bone down towards the floor. Breathe into the inner thigh and the outer hip. Both areas have muscles that help with internal rotation, and those are the muscles we're trying to help relax. So both of these movements of internal and external rotation, as we work on them, they'll help prevent the thigh bone from being jammed up in the hip joint, and therefore could slow down the production of the arthritic bone spurs. If you're prone to that because of the tightness of the thigh bone against the acetabulum in the hip, in the pelvis. Now lift the knee up, straighten that left leg out, Press the back of the leg to the floor and then let your legs relax. Now, before we get up and start doing our standing postures, let's just assess how do you feel after you've done the 3 hip openers, the hamstring, the external rotators, and the internal rotators. Then bend your knees, roll to the side, and then we'll sit up. Today, to start with, I wanted to link 3 of our standing poses together. Trikonasana, Virabhadrasana 2, and the Utthita Parsvakonasana. And in English, that would be triangle pose, warrior 2, and side angle pose. So we'll put our blocks because 2 of those poses may need some extra height up from the floor. Let's stand up. So we'll go to the right first. We'll do triangle pose, then warrior 2, and then side angle pose, all on the right side. And then we'll do the left side. So it's just an opportunity to do the poses in a different way. Okay, is everyone ready? We're all standing in Tadasana, the 4 corners of your feet connected into the earth, the thigh muscles are connected to the bone, the lower abdominal muscles is connected to your nostrils, the shoulders are back and the shoulder blades are down. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, step the feet wide apart. Turn your left foot in and your right leg out. Reach out over the right leg and hand to the floor or the block for Trikonasana. Triangle pose to the right. Now in triangle pose, your stance might be a little narrow for your Virabhadrasana 2. If you need to make a stance adjustment, use the back leg. That leg moves a lot easier than the front leg. And what we mean by the back leg is your left foot. So we'll try that now. Inhale, come up. And I know that I like a little bit more distance for my Virabhadrasana 2. So I'll wiggle the left foot just a little bit away from the right foot and then bend the right knee. Virabhadrasana 2. Gaze over your right fingertips if you like to add the neck turn in this posture. Keep the legs strong. Lift the lower abdominal muscles to help support you and create that energetic lift. And of course, this posture makes you work a little bit, so you have to breathe. On your next exhale, bring your right hand down to the floor or the block, and then take your left arm overhead. So there, we've linked 3 poses together. And sometimes that can be fun. In this posture, make sure you're creating that link in the left side of your body. You don't want to miss this opportunity to unstick some of those tight, stuck places. Now let's be strong in our legs. And inhale up. Turn the feet forward. Now when I go to the other side for triangle pose, when I brought my legs up and I turn my feet forward, my feet naturally come a little bit closer together. So I'm usually about ready right now for triangle pose to the left in my stance. But you can always shorten the stance if you felt like you were left a little wide. Trikonasana to the left. Exhale into the practice. Keeping the legs strong so they don't wobble too much. Inhale and come up. Once again, I know I want more distance between my feet. So I'm going to wiggle the right foot away from the left foot and then exhale, bend the knee. That makes it a much more fun, challenging posture. We want to feel the legs working and then turn your face to the left. If for some reason you had a knee issue or some groin injury, of course, bring the feet close together. We're always going to respect our challenges. Now, get ready on your next exhale, side angle pose. Watch that side body. Look at yourself if you can. See that long line. Power in your legs. Inhale, up you come. Turn the feet forward, bend your knees, inhale, and exhale, step your feet together. Your arms will come down and rest. Ah, that was a lot of work. That was very warming. And yet, like charging, like, wow, now I'm ready for something really challenging. Let's do Virabhadrasana 1. Oh, I can sense through the airwaves that we're excited about that. So mountain posture. Hands up to your heart, bend the knees, inhale, step your feet wide apart. Now this is a little tricky because we've got to get that back leg turned in well. So let's go ahead and turn the palms up and reach the arms overhead. At any time that you want the arms to rest, you can place the hands on the hips and then rejoin us. If your shoulders are very open, bring the palms together. Your arms should be right by your ears. Then turn your left leg in. Look how my leg turns in so much that my hip wants to go and face the same direction of the right hip. And that way, when I bend the right knee on my next exhale, everything feels nice. Nothing feels strained. Again, if the arms feel tight, take the hands apart. If the legs don't like the stance, shorten the stance or widen the stance. Your complete control. I have to trust you know what you're doing. Straighten the right leg, turn forward. If you need to rest the arms, give them a break. Otherwise, here we go to challenge the arms on the other side. Left leg in so much that it doesn't leave the left hip lagging behind. The right hip lagging behind. On the exhale, bend the left knee. Now, if you've got the arms together and you're stretching out well, you could add look up. The final piece of the pose, looking up. And then inhale, straighten the leg, turn the feet forward and let your arms come halfway down. Bend the knees, inhale and exhale, step your feet together, arms by your side. Let's take a little rest in forward bend. I'm going to separate the feet just a little bit so I have a little bit more movement of the pelvis on the femurs, thigh bones. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, Uttanasana. I promised a challenging standing pose today, but we'll give you some options. Bend the knees, inhale, up you come. And then hands to your heart. Warrior 3. Oh my goodness. But it just felt like the right morning and the right group to practice this with. But I want to give you some options. We're going to move into the pose from Warrior 1. So watch for carefully. Let me get my blocks over here. As a matter of fact, let's see. Let's go to your right first. So I'll put my blocks right here. I'm going to sort of step a little bit over to this part of my mat. And go ahead. Take let's see. My feet are apart, so my arms are out. Turn the palms out. This is a very quick version of what I'm going to do. Bend the right knee. There I am in Warrior 1. And I'm going to lean over the right leg. Place my hands on the blocks and come up now and do this variation. Remember that the pelvis shouldn't lift in Warrior 3. It should be a level pelvis with the left leg hovering straight above the floor. Now in this position, if you want, you can just take one arm up and see that. I don't know if you can see my left arm in the camera. Yeah, there it goes. So I could do both the left leg and the right arm, that variation, or I could take both arms up, or I could take no arms up. Then we'll return and come back to warrior one and then turn forward. Now, another option is you've got furniture in your room. You can just do it on a piece of furniture. I'll actually demonstrate that here with a chair. So from the warrior one position, I'm going to lean forward, place my hands on the chair seat and lift up into the warrior three. Or you could use a wall. My warrior one, lean forward, catch the hands to a wall. So there you have all kinds of options. The beauty of doing this practice isn't to torture anyone, it's to give you an opportunity to work on your balance and your entire back extensor strength. Everything in the back is going to have to work to help hold you in that pose. If we stay a little longer than what you feel comfortable doing, come out. Let's join ourselves together. Now, I've got my prop that I'm going to use to get my hands on something over here to your right, would be my left, but your right. Warrior one first. Wide stance, turn your palms up, reach the arms overhead. You have an option, you can even go a little wider with your arms or bring the hands together. Left leg in, right leg out. We're ready. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, and then pause. Are you got your head right? On your exhale, lean over the right leg, catch your blocks, and then lift up into Virabhadrasana 3. I'm going to move back just a little bit so that I'm more in the view of the camera. Once we're here, we could stay here and practice this variation because everything in your back is working to hold you up except your upper shoulders. But you could say, let me lift the right arm, do like a balancing cat or the hunting dog practice, where across the body, the back body in a diagonal, all those muscles are working. And then place your hand back down, place the right leg back for Virabhadrasana 1, and up we come. Back to warrior one. Straighten the right leg, turn your legs forward, and lower your arms. I have to come out of the pose completely because I'm going to move my props to the other side. We could have set up 4 blocks, but not all of us have that many blocks at home. So there, I'm ready. Are you ready? Okay. Bend the knees, step your feet wide apart. Turn the palms up, get your arms in position. So you're here, or if your shoulders are open here. Turn that right leg in and that left leg out. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, bend that left knee. Okay, are you ready, everyone? On your next exhale, lean forward. I can hear everyone say, yeah, sure, let's do it. Place your hands down on your blocks, adjust them so that your shoulders will be over your wrists, and up you come. Oh, I'm going to back up again to be on the screen a little bit more clearly. Now that back leg, you have to watch it. It will get heavy. So give it some charge, but just don't lift the hip. That way the back extensors are working and not your outer hips. Now, you've got some choices. You could try the full balance. I'm going to stick with the variation that I'm encouraging newer students to do, which is to just lift the left arm. Right leg is up behind you and the left arm by your ear. Notice that I'm looking at the floor. That'll keep the neck long and no tension in the neck. The actual final pose is looking at the thumbs, but we'll wait on that. Okay, hand down to the block. Step your right leg back down to the floor so that you can return to the warrior pose. And now let's come out of warrior. Straighten your left leg, turn your legs forward, lower the arms halfway, bend the knees, inhale, and exhale, step your feet together. Oh, that was invigorating, wasn't it? You know, sometimes when I'm watching in a class, I don't always get to practice with you. So I'm just hoping that you have the experience that I am craving for you. But this morning I got to do it with you. And so it feels invigorating, like, wow, now I can take on the day. Downward facing dog. So let's move all the props off. Another way of balancing the body after doing some side-to-side practices is your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now, if you were tired, you say, oh, I just can't, Terry. I just can't. Well, you could just rest in child's pose or forward bend. Speaking of child's pose, let's all do that. Let's all come down, separate your knees a little bit, and rest in child's pose. You could put your arms out in front of you, stretch them, relax them, or take them beside you. Okay, hands beneath the shoulders and press up. What I'd like to do now is a twist with everyone. The name of this twist is Ardha Matsyendrasana. It's the half lord of the fishes twist, and the legs are in kind of a complex position. It would be nice if we had about 2 blankets to sit up on, and that would help the pelvis be more level. Let me show you what I would do if I had blankets, and then maybe you have a pillow or a sofa cushion or something, but I would take one blanket and fold it into a square like this, and then a second blanket and fold it into a square like this. Now, sometimes people have, their hips are so open that this would be just too much. But let me show you what I would do. I have a sofa cushion. And you know, this times is hard. You gotta use what you got around the house. I have a bolster. I could pretend I just pulled this off the sofa, turned it to the corner, faces forward, and then sit up on that corner like that. You see? I'm gonna use the blankets and turn the corner so the corner points forward. And that way, my feet can go beside the blanket. So I sit up on the blanket, and I'm going to twist to the left first. So the right leg has to go under the left leg, like this. It just drops down in front of you with the foot. See, my right foot is under my left leg, and the heel is on the outer right hip. Then you take the left leg and you lift it up and you place it over the right leg. So it looks like this. Have you got the leg position? Now let me show you something. This leg is not everyone's cup of tea. And it may also be that when you sit here, the foot won't come down. You can kind of get the leg to start to go over, but it doesn't make it down. Maybe some hip challenges or tightness from the outer hip. The pose can be done with the bottom leg straight in front of you and the left leg just crosses like this. So that is an option. Then we have to choose how we're going to do the twist with our upper body. When we turn to the left, this first thing to determine is, does the left hand need a block behind it? Do you lean so far back that you need some height? So I'll give you a chance to get one of your blocks. Got to keep those things within reach, right? For me, my arms are long enough that even sitting on 2 blankets, my arm still gives me that lift. Then I could place this hand on the knee to pull myself into the twist, or hook the elbow, or place the back of the arm on the outside of the left knee. Now, if you do that, but you round yourself to get there, it's like, well, I don't quite have that twist going yet, but I'm going to certainly try. Then the spine is collapsing when you're trying to twist. You can look at me trying to twist like this, and it doesn't look very happy and healthy. So if you just hook the elbow around the knee and pull yourself upright, the twist will go a lot better in your body. Make a fist and have the palm facing the floor. Left hand behind you. Here we go. On the inhale, lift. On the exhale, twist to the left. Pull the right ribs towards the left. Another thing to do to help the pose and all the wonderful things that could happen is this left hip tends to pop up. See if you can drop it down to the floor. Now, while you're in the twist, I'm going to change my position for a moment and just turn sideways so you can see the pose from a different view. See, this is where your right heel is. This is where the elbow is on the left side. So you're trying to pull that leg across the body. This hip wants to pop up, but you keep dropping it down. This arm is helping you keep the lift. The shoulders should stay level. Sometimes we look like this in the posture. Let's try to be as level as we can. Now, about now, you've probably twisted as much as you feel like you want to for one day on one side. To come out, let's keep the lift. So let's inhale and come out. And then exhale. I'm going to turn back forward and switch sides. So follow along. So here I am sitting on my little corner. I'm going to take that left leg now and tuck it under the right leg. And the heel comes to my outer right hip. Then lift the right leg up and cross it over the left leg. We're about ready to go now. Okay, so I could just put the hand on the knee and pull my left ribs around, could hook the elbow, or the arm can go to the outside. Just make sure whichever variation you choose, you're upright. Inhale, get the lift, and exhale, turn towards the right. By the way, check and make sure that your right big toe stays on the floor. Each inhale creates more lift. Each exhale tries to find another little place that we can twist and go deeper. Deep breath and release. Go ahead and stretch your legs out in front of you. Okay, so now let's do Purvottanasana, which is a stretch to the east side of the body. I'm going to turn sideways and do 3 variations, and you can pick which one works best for you. Variation number 1, with the hands behind you a little bit. If you have wrist issues or shoulder issues, it's sometimes really not a good idea to lift the pelvis off the floor. So you'll just create the back bend sitting here. In this particular variation, since it's not a specific shoulder stretch, you could have the elbows straight. Variation number 2. It's hard for you to have your legs straight in the practice, so you bend the knees and do like what we might call a reverse table. Now you look and see that the middle of the table is kind of sagging right now. So we're going to try to lift that up a little higher. And then let the head come back unless it bothers your neck. Then hold the head and the neck in a position where there's no crunchy or tension in your neck. Okay, then release. And the final position in practice would be to have the legs straight and lift up and try to get the pelvis to lift again. So you've got 3 variations. So let's all work together now in the variation that we have chosen. Yeah, okay. I hope you're having fun. Are things working? Is the back body getting stronger? Is the front body opening? You can just send me little messages later. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and then come down. Now we're going to turn around and do our cobra. Now you know how to do cobra on forearms, but we're going for the full Monty if you can. Reach your legs back, one leg at a time. Take the back of the pelvis towards the heels. Begin to come up. Now pull the abdominal muscles, the lower ones up towards your heart, and come into your back bend. If the arms want to straighten, they're almost there, but they won't without compressing your lower back, slide the hands forward. And if this is too much back bend to be up on the hands, come down to your forearms and do the low cobra variation. All of these variations are beneficial. And then release. And rest for a moment. Breathe into your back body. Now today, I really want to do Dhanurasana, which is bow pose. So that means we're going to reach back and catch the tops of our feet and lift up into bow. I know some of you are now going to go to the restroom, but it's okay to just repeat cobra. So in case that's a problem. And if you said, I can't reach back and get the tops of my feet like you, Terry, Well, maybe you have two belts. It's nice if you have two. You can then hook a belt around each foot, which makes it work like a hand. If you only have one belt, you can strap both feet around the ankles. Just don't let the belt pull your feet together. Keep space between the legs when you lift up. Okay, so let's try and see what happens. Oh, I forgot something. In this particular pose, because we're up on the top of the pelvis and the abdominals, it can be helpful to have a blanket down if you want some cushion. I'll give you a moment to do that if you want to. And then the rest of us will go ahead and get supercharged mentally about getting ready to go up into bow pose. Hold the tops of your feet, everyone. Have you got your props ready? Have you got your blanket down? Now pull the toes back like I'm doing so that the ankle is flexed. That'll help your quadriceps work a little harder and help you. And then on a big inhale, up we go. Everybody just go up. Press the heels to the sky. Oh, look, hip flexor stretch, quadriceps stretch, shoulders stretch, back strengthening. And you have to work really hard to breathe, which is going to increase your breathing capability. Oh my goodness, all the wonderful things that have happened. We should do this with every time we practice. Higher, as best you can without anything hurting, and then release. Oh, rest now. Let's push back into child's pose. Or you can just rest right there on your belly if you want to. I'm going to separate my knees a little bit. Place my forehead down. If it doesn't reach the floor, place it on a blanket and drop my arms by my legs. And then place your hands beneath your shoulders and spin around. What I wanted to do now is some ankle movements, because we just must remember that if we're sitting at home a lot and we're not able to get out, and I bet some of you are getting out and you're taking walks in your neighborhood or walks in parks, I think it's a wonderful idea, but let's make sure we're keeping our ankles fully mobile. So lie down and take your right leg up, hold behind the knee, so you can see the foot and you can watch the ankle movements. I'm just pointing and flexing the foot right now. Now some ankle circles. And whichever way you're going, go the other way. And then just pause and spread the toes. Release, and let's do the left side. Take the left leg up, hold behind the knee, and do the ankle pumps. Circles. Other way circles. Pause and spread the toes. Good. And then place both of your feet on the floor with the feet wide. So once again, we can do that wonderful rocking of the legs side to side. This is a wonderful way of helping to soothe and calm the nervous system before you get ready for relaxation. Guide the movement with breath. Inhale, let your knees come up, and exhale, let the legs fall over to the side. Inhale, let the knees come up, and exhale, they fall to the other side. The breath guides the movement. This is nice because it massages across the SI joints, and sometimes we hold an incredible amount of tension in this area. Now, let's set up for Shavasana, the relaxation practice. Let's get our props set up. And by the way, if I said let's set up for Shavasana, and there was something else that you said, I want to do this real quick, it's really okay. Go ahead and do that one practice that you want to do, and then we'll join together in Shavasana. But don't skip Shavasana. You know, I say that all the time because it's so easy to do now that you're we're not together. I was in the hallway practicing the other day just because I liked the light that was coming in the front door. And when I'm there, I started noticing, oh, somebody needs to clean the floor. And so you get distracted and you forget, this practice is much more important than cleaning your floor because this is what's going to keep us happy and whole and healthy. You still have to clean your house, but you also need to make sure you're practicing. Our bodies do this more than ever. Do your inventory and make sure that everything is comfortable. And I'll come and get you in just a moment. Have no fear that you will fall asleep and forget. Take a slow, deep breath into your body and exhale softly. And before you move, I want to share with you this quote from a blog amazing knee movement. Iva Ursano. Iva Ursano. Breathe. You're going to be okay. You've been here before. You've been this scared, uncomfortable, and anxious, and you survived. Breathe and know that you can survive this too. I know it all feels unbearable right now. Just breathe. Keep breathing, and this too shall pass. And now bend your knees and rock your legs side to side. And roll over onto your right. Use your arms and press yourself up to sit. It has been a pleasure to be with you this morning. I am forever grateful that we have the opportunity to still share time together. The light within me sees and honors the beautiful light within you. Namaste.